Yes, welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Project. It's actually episode 114 of the big show. It's May 29, 2019 from the fortified compound there in Mesa, Arizona. Yes, I am back in town until tomorrow, but we should still have a live show on Saturday at the regular scheduled time at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I want to thank everyone for their continued support of the show. You want to be able to do that, it's markstevens.net and at the markstevens.sells.com. markstevens.sells.com. Glad to see everyone filing in there today for episode 114 of the big show. A couple things to get to before we start getting into some calls. But if you want to join me on the commercial-free broadcast over here, you want to talk about anarchy, meaning no rule is, not no rules. We believe as anarchists, the rules apply to everybody. That's what's so radical and so subversive that if it's wrong for me to lie, steal, kill, and cheat people, and then it's wrong for people called government. If you want to join me and talk about that, government abuse, defending yourself in court, because we're going to get back to basics here today. This needs to be covered again. You can do so at 218-632-9399, 218-632-9399. I would put this in the show notes, but there is a really stupid design for this YouTube live stream where if you hit to put something in there, the next button gets blocked. So I don't know who designed this. I don't know when it didn't do that the last few shows. It hasn't done it in a while. I could put in the a description, a brief description, because it used to be, yes, if you tried to do more than one line, you blocked out the next button, so you couldn't go live. Now, if you hit that button at all to add more, it blocks out the damn button, and you just sit here like, what? Why would someone do that? So then you got to start all over. But it's 602-635, no, 218-632-9399, 218-632-9399. The passcode is 2020 with a pound sign. And Skype, if you want, it's Frank Rizzo 3, and you can join me on Skype. Don't call the show, and I can't join you on Skype here. Just call the number, 218-632-9399, 218-632-9399, the passcode 2020, and we get you into the big broadcast of the show. And briefly, before I get into the getting back to basics, I had reported about a actually a county commissioner who seemed really nice and wanted to be helpful and was trying to help investigate what was going on. And the nice act was dropped today. Yeah, it's what really happened was the same as let's say a teacher has students do a math exam, a math question. And the student brings the math question, and the answer, and brings it to the teacher. And the teacher says, why don't we have your classmate confirm whether this is true or not? See if you have the right answer. And then they take that and they say, well, look, did you just, so to the first student, hey, did you do this right? Is this the correct answer? Yep. Oh, I investigated and I have confirmed that they do have the right answer. That was the extent of the investigation. So they called back after this so-called investigation. It's a tax case. And we have multiple admissions that they can't prove their foundational claim. They can't prove it. When I spoke to the county commissioner, I asked her the foundational question, which is she agreed. If the property or they're physically in California, then the laws apply and they have jurisdiction to assess and collect a tax. But when asked if there was any actual proof that that was true, I'm just a public official. Yeah, but you're making legal determinations. That kind of got her goat today because she said, "Well, I went to county council and I confirmed that they did nothing wrong, that it's accurate." So I said, "Excuse me, I'm trying to be as polite and professional with you as possible given the circumstances here. You admitted less than 2 weeks ago that you're just a public official. That when I asked you if you could prove the county's foundational claim, you laughed it off saying that you're you're just a public official. Are you suddenly now qualified to make and confirm such legal determinations? Or are you just taking their word for it?" And she just took their word for it. But that's not how you investigate. That's how politicians investigate, though. That's how the mafia investigate. Hey, Joey, did did you whack you know Jimmy No Nos? What the hell? I I didn't do anything like that. Hey, he told me he didn't do it. It's the same thing that Trump does. He strongly denies it. Oh, must be true. Must be true. He strongly denies it. It's like one of my favorite lines from A Few Good Men. No, no. Oh, you strongly object. Oh, well, that changes everything. Oh my gosh. Oh, he said that they strongly object. I so when I questioned her a little bit more on this about why would you just take their word for it when you are not qualified by your own admission to make these legal determinations or to confirm. Well, I'm not making legal determinations. Yes, you are. You may not have made the legal determination here, but it's a legal determination you make every day on the job. She agreed. That's how they do business, right? That's why I do that. This is a back to basics kind of thing over here. Do you operate under the presumption that if I'm physically in California, that your laws apply and give you jurisdiction to assess and collect a tax, that your laws create a tax liability? Yes. That's the foundational claim, baby. And she's admittedly not qualified. So she's going to go and take the county attorney's word for it. Well, he's the lawyer. Well, is he right? This is the whole point, was to do the investigation, was to determine if they were right. Not to just, hey, did you do this right? Yep. Okay, we're done here. Wow. I wish it was that simple when we, the plebes, were attacked. Did you willfully fail to file a tax return? No, I did not. I didn't. Oh, hey. It's good enough for me, huh? This is what's supposed to pass as an investigation. All right. All right. What some of these comments. I think you screw up this phone number pretty much every show. Oh, come on. Hey, not every show there, Mike. Not every single show. That actually was is my main number, though, that I use to make these calls. And so that's what this county commissioner, that's the number she called to get me. And I wasn't able to record it, which is unfortunate. But I will keep everybody updated because it's not over. We are not laying down. I'm hoping to get admissions from the rest of the county commissioners, like she did, that they can't prove their foundational claim. And for Tommy Boy, the show is just starting. I know I said 4:30, but we've been on for, I don't know how long we've been on for. I've been on for 10 minutes, so it takes some time for people to file in, so I take care of the other stuff. So yeah, and I apologize, I had to start late. Things happen, a lot of travel. Again, I came in late last night from California for an appointment at the doctor's today. I'm going right back tomorrow morning. But we should be doing a show live from the fortified compound in California. So whatever I miss here today, I will get on the big show on Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If that changes, I'll do my best to let everybody know. I have to take a few minutes, so please be patient with me, because if I don't do it now, I will not get it done, as everybody knows. So just please bear with me. The basics. I'm going to cover just a few minutes of the basics. And I will throw this out. If you are defending yourself in court, please know and understand that it doesn't matter how many success stories that I can post to markstevens.net. It's not going to change the nature of the beast. These are violent, antisocial people. They are criminals. Why? Why are they criminals? Oh, what are your facts over here? Well, let me make Tom's head explode. What are your facts over here? What are you talking about here? What I'm talking about here has to do with the fact that they are men and women, and they force perfect strangers to give them money. They threaten them with jail. That makes you a criminal. Makes you a criminal. Mark, it's legal. Show me the evidence that these laws apply. Show me the evidence that these apply to us. Oh, they don't have to. Yeah. You're confirming my argument, my claim. They are criminals. Anybody saying, well, we can make a claim and it affects your life and we don't need to have evidence. Crook. So you're dealing with monsters. You're dealing with people who have very, very poor coping skills. They are usually at the level of a 5-year-old, which is why they get so mad so fast. When the only tool you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. Hey, another Abraham Maslow. So you need to prep for this, even if it's just a traffic ticket. Now we're making a lot of the same challenges, of course, because the foundational claim is the same in a traffic ticket as it is in a possession charge or a tax case. Same foundational claim. And you are woefully unprepared if you're having problems with the instructions that I give. So what's happened when you get the motion to dismiss? When you get it from me or you write your own, the motion to dismiss and discovery request, I like to file them together. And what I mean by file them, I don't go physically into court unless I have to. I mail it and I give the instructions. The cop is going to take that ticket and he's going to hand it into a certain court. And it's usually going to be on the ticket, either the front or the back. Usually, like Arizona, it's on the back. So the question, where the hell do I send the motion to dismiss? First of all, you're going to have the title of the court in the caption. That's above the state versus you. It's the very top, of page 1. And it could say the North Mesa Justice Court. You don't have to put the address in there. In fact, the address does not belong on the motion to dismiss and of the court. You're going to be mailing a copy of everything, well, an original of everything. You're going to be sending to the clerk of the court that the complaint is filed in. So if it's the North Mesa Justice Court, you're going to put clerk of the court, next line, North Mesa Justice Court, let's say 512 Javelina. I don't know. It's on Javelina, but I don't remember the street name. You got to give me a break on that. The certificate of service, you have to sign that because we're going to be mailing a copy of everything we file with the clerk of the court. You're going to mail a copy to the prosecution. Now, if there's a police officer Like in New York, it's just a police officer, or New Hampshire. You're going to use the police officer's name, badge number, and his address at the police department. You are not to go look up this individual. They shouldn't even be listed anyway, that you can find an address on these people. You send it to the police department. Okay? And under no circumstances do you send anything to the police officer or communicate with him in any way unless you are forced by him to do so, which you should be keeping your mouth shut anyway. But if there is a prosecutor assigned, it will go to the prosecutor. Well, how do we know who's the prosecutor? You don't need to know a name like Stephen Myrie, who is a serial offender for prosecutorial misconduct. And this guy goes way above the call of duty. He doesn't just withhold a few documents over here, over there. No, he withholds hundreds of documents, if not thousands of documents. So you can look up, it's going to be either the city or the county attorney. Put the case number or the docket number or the ticket number on the outside of that, and you can say attention and put the case number on there. So the guy in the mailroom has an easier time getting it to the right person who's assigned to it. If they say, well, there's nobody assigned yet, you've sent your copy anyway. So whether they've made a personal assignment, it's not material. You've sent a copy. I don't like going in the day of arraignment, my initial appearance, and just filing the motion then. I want the motion to be filed as soon as possible because I don't want this robed lawyer to have any excuse not to hear the motion. Well, you're just filing this here today, and I can't rule on this today. I'm just getting it now, and I need time to review it. And the prosecutor has 15 days to respond. That's why we don't just walk in. We want to walk in prepared to stand on the motion, meaning that we're going to question them if the prosecution has met their burden. Can they overcome the motion? The motion to dismiss is based on a lack of evidence proving jurisdiction. That is personal and subject matter. And we are keeping the burden of proof on the prosecutor. For them to make what's called a prima facie burden, they have to have a sufficient number of facts. So we'll use the California language. I've been in California so long, look at me. There has to be sufficient facts to set forth an actual public offense. I filed the demur or the motion to dismiss because there is insufficient facts to set forth an actual public offense, because they may be alleging that you violated the law, but they don't have sufficient facts that it applies to you. They assume that. And an assumption doesn't take the place of facts. And those who tell you that it does in legal land are being dishonest with you or showing just how dishonest and unfair the system is. If opinions now count as facts, and remember, jurisdiction is a trial issue also. Are they going to trot those opinions out and actually submit them and try to submit them as evidence? Of course not. We want facts. You cannot meet a prima facie burden without facts. You have to have the facts, not opinions. When we think, well, of course the laws apply. Everybody knows that. Nope. We don't want to go in and make affirmative statements other than the prosecution hasn't met that burden. If you start making affirmative statements, you're going to get yourself into trouble because you now take the burden of proof. You have to prove that that's true. And bottom line, I've said 100,000 times, they don't care. There's something that we have to accept. I had to accept an awful long time ago. It hasn't been that long. But had to accept years ago. No one, especially in court, no one cares about what your opinion is on the law. They couldn't care. You have to accept it. You have to embrace it. And you have to use it. Nobody gives a damn if you think that you're not a taxpayer within meaning of statute. Nobody cares. As if you and I have a better understanding of the law than the guys who wrote it and the ones who enforce it. And they don't care. So that is one of the big things. Just as important as that is you have to assume that every single thing coming out of their mouth is a lie. All of it. And your job is to object and have them verify it. Will you come off as difficult? You're defending yourself. Yeah. You're defending yourself against people who don't like to be questioned. That's why it's very important we do the role playing. I don't want anyone to be misled, and I've said this and I'll continue saying, I'll say it every show if I have to. This should not be taken lightly. All we can do is limit the amount of damage these people want to do to us. Yeah, in some cases you get damages awarded. We've had that. Very rare. We've had a lot of stuff thrown out. Yes. We're limiting the damage these criminals want to do to us. So keep that in mind. Do not take going to court lightly. I highly recommend the role playing, and I love to be able to see more people. Maybe we'll see someone in California do it. Maybe I'll do it in California. People confronting a city council meeting. I have video of me doing it. There's audio of me confronting bureaucrats. If you're prepping for court, get in front of a city council. It's a hell of a way to improve your public speaking and to be able to make these defenses. Now, I've covered it at this ground many times, but if anybody is interested in doing that and wants a little bit of help, I'm more than happy to walk you through that. I'm more than and I'll email or Skype the questions. Two main things we're looking at here. You guys operate under the presumption that if I'm physically in California, then your laws apply and give you jurisdiction over me, right? All right. And then you ask them for the proof. What evidence? What proof do you have? What facts actually prove that? So somebody jumped on, there's a comment. Would you stop asking them for facts? I asked them, I'm very specific in my question. I asked them for facts that actually prove the proposition, that prove the claim. That's called evidence. That's what separates facts. There's a lot of facts. That's what separates facts from evidence. And evidence is proof that actually has shown that it proves the proposition. So I don't have to stop asking for facts. You don't have to stop asking for facts. You're asking for facts that prove the argument's true, that prove the claim is true. So don't worry, you're not making it broad. Facts that prove. So if they throw something out that's irrelevant, call them on it and ask them to explain exactly how. Oh, well, you see, the facts that prove that the Constitution applies to you, Mark, because you're physically in Arizona right now, or all the other people that we prosecuted and put in prison. Really, how does that work? Exactly how does putting somebody else in prison prove this written instrument applies to me right now? Follow it up. All right, let's get to some of the calls. You guys are making me put the cones on. I'm going to get to, whoa, holy crap. That is not good. Hopefully it's just, is it just mine? Oh, we shall see. We're going to go with a new caller. We have area code 413. You're live on the No Stay Project. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Matthew, Massachusetts.
Man, my head. Could you repeat that?
Matthew from Massachusetts.
Oh, from Massachusetts. Boy, I can barely tell you from Mass.
So I had a question about your main, I guess, reasoning is that they can't prove that the laws apply to you.
Sorry, but yeah, they can't, my actual position is they can't. They have no evidence to show that to prove their claim that their laws apply to you just because you're physically in Massachusetts. What's going on? It's bad enough that my audio is cracking like. Holy, I guess I fixed it. I guess Matthew, Matthew, still with us? I guess Matthew, I have no audio for Matthew right now. Damn it. That sucks. Oh, I see what happened. You guys are gonna have to give me one moment.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencepro.com. Please enter your passcode followed by the... Please enter your host ID followed by the pound.
Yeah, you really gotta hate when that happens, boy. I tell you, where are we here? I have to go back to 20. Okay, 25. Well, I'm back. I've got my audio back. I'm really sorry. So hopefully Matthew can call back into the big show, and we can address that. But yeah, it's a very common thing that what they want to do is they want to just shift and change what my argument is or what our argument is. So in an attempt to more easily defeat it. And we see this with tax cases all the time, where they want to say that my argument is, you're arguing that the laws don't apply. I said, no, get it right. My argument is you made the claim that they do, and you, by your own admission, can't support it. That's not the same thing as just me making a declaration. The laws don't apply to me. I go out of my way to be logical, to be rational, and to exercise good faith. And when I do my investigation, when I'm looking into the matter that we're trying to resolve, this is not my first rodeo. I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bureaucrats of all levels, practically. Okay, there's a reason why things are done in a certain way. Because if they're going to come out and say that I have a frivolous argument, and I know I've got to get that video finished, what part of my argument is false? Again, the argument is they admitted that their foundational claim is that the laws apply because I'm physically in Arizona. I asked them if they had any proof, if they had any evidence to prove that was true, and they said no. That's my argument, that it should be thrown out because they admittedly can't support their claim. Now, what part of that is false? What part of that is demonstrably false? You can go on YouTube, you can go to markstevens.net, you can hear the agent himself saying it is agreeing it was an assumption. They agree that this is what their claim is, and they agree that they cannot prove it. So what part of that is frivolous and untrue? So let's get back. I think we've got everything settled here. Matthew, we got you back?
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can barely hear you. Hopefully it's just my headset.
So, I was wondering, what if they say that they use like your, address, like your residence where you live, to prove that that's where you live?
Well, again, I would say, aren't you just restating your argument? We already know your argument is that if I'm physically in Massachusetts, that your laws apply and give you jurisdiction. My question is, do you have any actual evidence it's true? They're just repeating their claim at that point. And that does come up.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I was also wondering, so like, hold on one second. I wrote it down just so I didn't forget. 1 second.
Yeah, just till Matt comes back. That's a common thing, to just repeat the argument. We call that a proof by assertion fallacy. If I just say it enough, then I'll wear my opponent down, and I can screech, the victory cheer, and say to how stupid my opponent is. No, we want to point that out and ask them, aren't you just repeating your claim? We already know that, right? Yeah, we know that you believe that if I'm physically in Massachusetts, the laws apply. I got it. What facts, if any, what evidence do you have that prove that that claim is true? Well, dude, you live here. I understand that. It's a wicked awesome distraction technique there. Wicked awesome way to argue, but I'm not buying it. Well, you back, Matt? All right, Matt. All right, we're gonna have to mute Matt up and we'll come back to Matthew. We'll go to Tom.
Hey, Mark, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing all right. I just I'm glad everything is going fine over the stream, but I'm having a difficult time. I guess it's my whoa, oh my gosh, I almost got okay. So we got everything corrected now. It's this damn headset.
Yep. Well, I called for a specific reason, but I would like to actually discuss this prima facie first. And some of the arguments that you hear by some of your opponents. Prima facie means on face value or at first glance on its face. Now, you think about this for a second. If you and I file a claim, either in small claims or even the district court, and go to sue someone, and we serve them with a complaint, and they're served and they're told to show up, they have to show up. I mean, the bottom line is, you have that right to sue someone, and I know the state doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. In actuality, the same principle, I would think, would be why they claim they have prima facie evidence to bring you to court.
Well, somebody doesn't have to. They don't have to show up personally. They can send in a motion to dismiss. They can challenge. So if the scenario is two private people suing, two private people, and one is suing the other, they don't have to show up. I mean, if there are legal tools available, that you can file a motion to dismiss and never set foot in that court ever.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. I completely forgot about that. Well, all right, good enough.
Wait. We'll get to the mole. I just want to throw this out in there. The courts have ruled, like ACLU versus NSA, that the court's first obligation is to determine that that there's evidence of jurisdiction, that the plaintiff has standing to sue, that they have standing to complain. It doesn't always happen. So the judge is supposed to, before anybody is actually forced into doing anything, the judge is supposed to first determine, okay, there has to be injury, damage, redressability, blah, and they're supposed to determine whether they have any jurisdiction, to act at all. So that's supposed to happen according to ACLU versus NSA. The judge is supposed to do that. Now we know that they don't, but okay, I wanted to just throw that out. So.
Yeah, well, and now that you just mentioned that, that's something else that I think is very important too to understand, because a lot of people don't understand what jurisdiction is. Like, I can't sue. Like, say if you did something to me and you're in California, I have to go to California to sue you. I can't file a claim in court here and expect you to show up, and the judge will say, "Sorry, we don't have the jurisdiction. This court doesn't have jurisdiction to deal with that. You have to go there." So I just wanted to mention that because that's part of jurisdiction as well.
Oh, but you could file into a traffic court and they have jurisdiction over everything. So that solves your problem. We'll give some faux legal advice here. If you want to win a case, don't go to superior court. Don't file into a real court. File in traffic court. The plaintiff wins every time.
Yeah, funny. Anyway. All right, I wanted to bring up this Mueller report, this Mueller report, or this speech he gave today. And again, I'm no Trump supporter. Okay, I'm no supporter of anyone in government and government in general. But when these guys went after Trump, they went after him with nothing, with no. Before the cops come and start investigating you, they usually have a crime to start with. They claim you did A, B, or C. And then they investigate and they go forward from there. There was no crime established whatsoever. This was a complete witch hunt to start with. It's just like the KGB and the Stasi in East Germany would do. they'll follow somebody around for a while until they find something on them. That's not how the system is supposed to work.
That's
And
not
when
how.
they go after the strongest, the most powerful man in the world and pull that crap, that scares me, man. That really scares me.
But it wasn't a witch hunt. They had evidence that there were two parts to that investigation. Okay. And you had the Russian hacking, which apparently multiple sources have shown, and Mueller says unequivocally, yes, it absolutely happened. So they were investigating that. And that was the first volume of the Mueller report that said it absolutely happened and is still ongoing and a major problem. So that did happen.
What's that got to do with Trump? This country does that all the time. Are you kidding me? We overthrow governments.
I know.
We're in the middle of Venezuela right now trying to overthrow and put our puppet in. What the hell? So what if they were hacking? We do it every day.
We're trying to determine whether it was a witch hunt, that there was no facts that showed that there were, serious crimes committed.
And what's that got to do with Trump?
Oh my gosh! Look. If you want to, Tom, if you want to sit here, I've got a line of callers. If you want to sit here and go over the evidence that they had, that was the springboard to do the investigation, I'm happy to do that. But I'm pretty low on time, and I'd have to pull some things up. I don't like Trump. I don't like Mueller. I don't like Comey. But look how many indictments that they got out of this. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to anybody say, "Oh, that was a nothing hamburger." Okay. Oh, they're never going to. Oh, a few Russia. Paul Manafort, they had evidence of Paul Manafort. They had evidence of Paul Manafort giving polling data to Russia. What does that have to do with Trump? My God, man, he was the campaign advisor. You cannot.
And what exactly? Again, I don't want to take up too much time. We're going to have this one, hash this one out, because giving polling data to Russia, big deal. Big deal.
They're considered a hot. Oh my gosh, Tom. Big deal. You see, that's it's a nothing hamburger. I get it. That there. That's not. That was just part of it.
Go on to your other callers. We'll hash this one out another day when we have a little bit more time.
We'll be in touch. Yeah, we'll be in touch off air. We'll put together a show just for that, where we can start at the beginning, and I won't even give out the call number. Okay.
All right.
Tom, we'll do that. Another thing, his own attorney general, Jeff Sessions, lied to Congress about his Russia contacts. Lied to Congress. My gosh, I could spend the next 6 hours going over the facts that were from multiple sources that why they decided, why they started to investigate. Why did they investigate? For obstruction? He fired the head of the FBI specifically and said to Lester Holt on national television, he fired him because he wanted him to back off the Russia investigation. He fired Jeff Sessions because he wanted to stop the investigation. Whether you think the investigation is right or wrong, obviously, if you're the target, we're always going to think it's wrong. But to do that is textbook obstruction of justice. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we'll cover that in another show. We have a new caller, which is really cool, of course. Eric, and hopefully Matthew can give us a call back. We can finish that call. But we got area code 215. You're live on the No Stay Project. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Mark? This is Wanye. I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Juan from Philly. You know, I actually found
Wanye.
Oh, Wanye. I'm sorry. Wanye. I actually found some. What?
Master 93.
I'm not familiar with that, but I will say that all things being equal, I'd rather be in Philly. I actually don't get. I don't think anyone's going to get the reference, but I always thought that was funny. I actually found some Sicilian family that immigrated to Philly. So.
Yeah,
Menino and Gambinos. So
Oh man, I'm actually a big fan of the Gambino.
I'm not I mean, I have familiar that's Gambino, but they're not associated with Carlo. Carlo's family was from Palermo. My family's from a little village outside of Palermo. So I don't know why people would be a fan of the Gambinos, but
Not like a fan, but like I'm like aware, like Al Capone. I'm not like a fan, but I'm like I'm aware of who he was.
oh, okay,
kind of deal.
all right, that's different.
Yeah. That sounded kind of bad to say like I was a fan, like
All
not
right.
like a fan, but I'm aware of who you were referring to when you said the Gambinos.
Yeah, Carlo
But,
died
yeah,
in his bed, which was very rare for someone like that. But what do you got for us today?
nothing much. I just wanted to call and say say not just hello, but yeah, I got a the DUI coming up on the 6th of June. I had
6th of
ordered
June.
the package that you offer.
Yeah, that's
Can you
coming
hear
up. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just I'm always disappointed to hear someone when you get in touch with me less than 2 weeks before you have a trial, especially when it's a DUI.
You said I should have got in touch with you before.
Well, how much? I mean, with a DUI, it's bad enough when it's not a DUI, when it's literally just a code violation. You didn't obey a bureaucrat. It's much worse. It's tough enough to prep and get ready for that because of the people that you're dealing with. But for a DUI, where it's not where a DUI, I would consider wrong whether there's a statute or not. That's one of those. I don't see that as really a malo prohibita. I see that as a mala in se. It's wrong because, dude, it's wrong. You shouldn't. So what I would say to everybody, and even when I do consults, do yourself, your liver, and everyone else a favor. Just don't drink, period, and certainly never get behind the wheel of a car under the influence. So, is this an initial appearance or is this a trial? Is it? I'm getting no audio from 1A. We'll see if he joins. And Matt dropped off. So, I was talking about the basics over here today. So I'm gonna keep that going. So just in case he is able to get back on the line, I will finish up the big show there. And it would be interesting to do an entire show dedicated, just for the accusations that have multiple sources. So what you get in the Mueller report, there's multiple sources. This is why Michael Cohen was so important. This is why McGahn is so important, because they had independent sources that were confirming things that were done. And to say that, again, I'm not a fan of Mueller. He was in charge of the FBI during the Bush years. But I want to look at the facts. I want to look at this. If there's multiple sources, that's a big thing. So to parrot that bone spur piece of garbage that it was a witch hunt. Look at all the indictments. This goes to my video too regarding the ruling class and how the rules don't apply. Jeff Sessions lied to Congress. Michael Cohen lied to Congress at the direction of his boss, Donald Trump. He is in prison right now for it. Right now. And yet Jeff Sessions is not being prosecuted because he's the former attorney general. He lied about his Russia connections. These people got on national television and confirmed what Mueller already knew, that they were meeting with the Russians. They were meeting with Russians. They were given polling data to Russians. And then what happens? Trump changes the Republican platform to ease the sanctions on the Russians. All this stuff with the Russians, giving them polling data and whatnot. They were trying. He lied about having business in Russia. Why is he lying? So any investigator, and I'm not a fan of the FBI, COINTELPRO, okay? I got it. Murdered Frederick Hampton. Sent a letter to Martin Luther King to kill himself. I get it. is everything made up? Am I supposed to believe a politician that says, don't believe what you're seeing and what you're hearing because it's not the truth? Sounds like it's straight out of 1984. Why are they lying about all this stuff about Russia? Why? If it was and then he lied saying that he told everybody he was looking to do a big deal in Russia. He told, and yet when you go back, it's like, dude, you're running for president. Everything is on tape. Well, I don't know, tape, but certainly it's on things like this. It's being recorded. So when an investigator sees that somebody is consistently lying about connections, now they're investigating hacking of the DNC, and you have where the campaign manager is giving polling data to Russia. What? How could you possibly say that they shouldn't have looked at something like that? That an investigator who's actually trying to investigate an actual crime, not just a code violation, but an actual crime. Oh, we're not going to look. It's a nothing hamburger. Yep. All those lies. Michael Flynn, who's going to prison, lied. Why are they all lying? If they were smart and you haven't done anything wrong, especially when you have very high-priced lawyers on the pay. It's a hamburger. Get it right. Ham-dirter. But when you have all these high-priced attorneys, when you're being questioned, you keep your mouth shut. Omerta. You keep your effing mouth shut. But to just keep spewing lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. Campaign contribution violations. Did you know about the payment? No, you'll have to ask my attorney, Michael. He took care of all that. And yet Trump signatures are on the checks. He lied. Why all the lying? Oh, yeah, lie through your teeth, and that's not going to raise suspicion. All right. It's a witch hunt, and all he did was lie. It is absolutely bewildering to me how people can support this guy or parrot this crap that it was a witch hunt. This guy is so brain dead, or is so thinks he's such a great gaslighter that he actually thinks that the Mueller report exonerated him. It doesn't. He clearly said today they would not go, even though they had the evidence. They were not even going to accuse him of a crime because he didn't think that would be fair because there was no court to clear his name. And that's why they didn't accuse him. He's giving it to Congress to do their job, to impeach the bastard. How anybody could, and I know you're not supporting this guy, but how anybody after this past year, since 2017, January of 2017, the amount of times that this guy has lied. I think the New York Times catalogs over 10,000 lies or misleading statements. How anybody can see him as anything other than a scumbag politician like all the rest, I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to call it. I've got to run. I will do my best to get the podcast up. I might not be able to do it today, but I am traveling back to California. I do appreciate the support of the big show. If you want to do that, it's really appreciated. Gas is like $4.50 a gallon in California. And before you start screaming communism, the last time I saw, there's been a government in California, and there is no plans to get rid of the California government anytime. So please spare me the communism crap. If they were truly communist, they would be making plans to get rid of the government. Communism is stateless. But yeah, I do appreciate the support. It's markstevens.net. and markstevens.sales.com. This has been episode 114 of the live edition of the No Stay Project. I will be live on Saturday. So whoever I missed today, hopefully everything is working fine, no problem when we get set up on the Saturday broadcast. But it should be right around 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 4 Eastern Standard Time. So till then, salud.